Good morning, my distant listeners. I trust you're all doing great. Welcome to the number one Success Embassy YouTube channel, where we build human to be intellect and outstanding in every sphere of life, basically in the educational sphere. Today is a beautiful day, and we'll be discussing about a beautiful topic in biology, not just in biology, but also in psychology, neuroscience, and other fields of study. And what is this course all about? It is the regulation of the internal environment of the human body. We'll be discussing about some difficult questions, which says, how is the human body regulated? Why is regulation compulsory in the internal environment of the human body? How is the human body structured? Which organ or what organ in the human body performs the regulation or performs in the regulation of the internal environment of the human body? These are the tough questions and the beautiful questions you will be finding beautiful answers and perfect answers to. But before we proceed, I will urge you all to please click on the subscribe button and also the like button. It's very, very essential. So, to avoid waste of time, we'll be moving straight to the introduction of the human body. The human body is a complex structure which is made up of different organs which work together to achieve the goal of human, which is survival. The different organs in the human body work together in achieve the greatest good for all. For all simply here means for all organs of the body. Various organs perform various activities, and these activities in all can be summarized as taking in of substances or information from the external environment, the process of such information, and the giving out of outputs that aid survival. Today's course will be all about the processing of the information or substances received, how the internal environment in the body is being regulated by different organs in the body. So, here as we can see on our screen is the diagram of the internal environment of the human body. From the apex you can see the brain, the lungs, the heart, the spleen, the small intestine, the kidney, the liver, the large intestine, the stomach, and every other part. But before we move to this, let's talk about the internal environment of lower organisms. Every organism needs to get rid of waste products of metabolism from its body cell or cells. This is because in fairly high concentration, waste products tend to be harmful or toxic. If they are not as removed, they may harm the body or even lead to death. Excretion is the process by which an organism removes or eliminates from its body waste products of metabolism such as carbon dioxide, nitrogenous substances, and unwanted substances like excess of water. In various organisms, there are different structures or organs through which metabolic waste products are eliminated. Below this is a table which shows the main excretory organ or structure and the main excretory product of some organisms. Organism 1, we have the amoeba. It excretes through its entire body surface, and its main excretory product is the carbon dioxide, ammonia, salt, and water. Organism 2, we have the earthworm, which excretes through its inner and its main excretory product is water, urine, and carbon dioxide. Organism 3, which is the insect, excretes through its malficia tubules, its corticule, and through its structure, and its main excretory product is uric acid, carbon dioxide, and water. Organism 4, which is freshwater feed, excretes through its gills and kidney, and its main excretory product includes the carbon dioxide, water, and urine. Amphibians, organism number 5, excrete through their skins, lungs, mouth, and kidneys, and their main excretory products are carbon dioxide, water vapor, and uric acid. Reptiles excrete through their lungs and kidney, and their main excretory product also includes carbon dioxide, water vapor, and uric acid. Mammals excrete through their lungs, skin, and kidney, and the main excretory product is carbon dioxide, water vapor, water, urine, salt, urine, water, and salt itself. Then we will have the flowering plant, which excrete through its reticule in stems, roots, its stomata in leaves, barks, leaves, and fruit. And the main excretory products are water vapor, oxygen, carbon dioxide, alkaloid, tannins, and races. And these are the main diagram which I have been able to accumulate for you all. So let's move to earthworm. Excretion. As we can see on our screen is a diagram of an earthworm. Excess water and urine excreted from the blood capillaries in the earthworm are excreted through the nephidium. Each nephidium, which is the singular of the word nephidium, is a coined long tube. The nephidium, which is the first part of the nephidium, has cilia. This drive liquid containing excretory materials into the narrow and round tubes which extract urine from the blood capillaries. The absorption of some water occurs in the wide tube, which urine is stored in the muscular tube, which opens to the outside through the nephidium. So here is a diagram of the earthworm. As you can see on our screen is a diagram of the earthworm nephidium and its labial part. We see on our left side We see the nephistium, which is the outermost part, or we say the apex part of the nephridium tube. We have the narrow tube, which is on our left side. We have the brown tube, which is also on the left side. We have the white tube also, which is also located on the left side. We have the muscular tube, which is also located on the left side, and we have the nephridopole, which is the outermost part of the nephridium tubules. So let's move to the next subtopic, which is the excretion in insects. Most of the carbon dioxide produced in the respiratory cells of insects diffuse out through the corticule, and the remainder is eliminated through the spiracles of the tracheal system. Uric acid, which is the main nitrogenous waste product, is removed via the Malpighian tubules. Excretory materials pass through the tubules and then into the intestine, where a lot of water is absorbed by the rectal gland from the substances passing through them. Hence, the uric acid, which is passed out through the anus as pellets or feces, is a semi-solid substance. Only a small quantity of water is lost by evaporation through the spiracles. By this means, insects convert a lot of water which they obtain from their food, since many of them do not drink water. So here's the diagram of the Malpighian tubules of a cockroach. As you can see on our screen is a diagram of the Malpighian tubules of a cockroach. On our left side we see the crop, we see the proventicolous, which is also known as the gizzard, we see the lineum. On our right side we see the protostars, we see the mesothorax, we see the metathorax also, which is a TV part of the cockroach. We see the Malpighian tube itself, we see the colon and the rectum. These are the label diagram of the Malpighian tubules of a cockroach. Each part of the diagram performs various, not just various, but distinct functions in making sure the cockroach survive and in making sure the internal regulation of the internal body of the cockroach is performed perfectly. And this leads us to our next subtopic, which is excretion in mammals. But before we go into this, what are mammals? Mammals are classification of warm-blooded animals who give birth to their young ones alive and produce milk to their offspring. They are characterized to have eggs. Examples of mammals include humans, goats, monkey, weasels, dog, wolves, zebras, and so much and so forth, which you can see on our screen. So here is a table which shows the main excretory organs and main excretory products of mammals. Organ 1, which we have the kidney. Its main excretory products include water, mineral salt, urine, nitrogenous waste, and its source includes the body cells and how it is excreted. All the products which the kidney excretes is through urine. The liver, which is the organ 2, excretes the bile pigment and its source is through the liver, and it is being excreted through the intestine. The lungs, which is the excretory organ 3 of mammals, excrete the main product of carbon dioxide, water vapor, and its source is through the respiring cell, and it is being excreted through exhalation. Skin, which is the main organ 5, excretes its main product as water, a little urine, sodium chloride or salt, and its source is through the body cells, and it is being excreted through sweat. So now we'll move to the next subheading, which is the kidney of mammals. Every mammal, like any vertebrate, has two kidneys that form part of the urinary system. Each mammalian kidney is dark red, bead-shaped, and surrounded by fat, which keeps it in position, and it is attached to a dorsal wall in the abdominal cavity. The left kidney is slightly higher up in the body organ than the right one, which you can see on the diagram on our screen. A renal artery, which branches off the aorta, supplies each kidney with oxygenated blood, while the oxygenated blood is carried away from it through a renal vein, which leads into the inferior venous canal. The ureter is a tube which joins each kidney to the bladder, from where the ureter leads to the outside. So, the next thing will be a diagram of the mammalian kidney with its label parts, and here on our screen is a diagram of the kidney. As you can see it, starting from our left side is a posterior venous cava, and on the right side we have the dorsal aorta. These are the two tubes that passes substances into the kidney. We have the right renal vein and we have the left renal artery. We have the right kidney, the left kidney. We have the ureter. It is a tube that passes out waste products out of the kidney. We have the opening of the ureter. We have the bladder, which stores urine or waste products produced by the kidney, and also we have the sphincter muscles control flow of urine. which is a pulse in the bladder that controls the flow of urine, and we have the ureter itself, which is the extreme end of the bladder. So here is a micro diagram with label of the mammalian kidney. So as we can see on our screen is a clearer view of the kidney. As we see the left kidney is a slight higher than the right kidney. We see the other label part of the diagram. We see the hand vena, we see the bladder, we see the renal arteries, we see the pelvis of the kidney, we see the inferior vena cava and the other part of the kidney. So if a kidney is cut longitudinally and into two halves, it will be seen to consist of two main parts, namely the outer dark, which is colored part called the cortex, and the inner light, with a colored part called the medulla, which projects inward to many pyramids which extend to the pelvis that open into the ureter. So the next diagram which will be shown on our screen now is the open part of the kidney. And as you can see on our screen here, is an interior part of the kidney. It is labeled, and we see the renal artery and the renal vein. We see the ureter. The ureter is the tube that passes out unuseful products away from the kidney. We see the cortical blood vessels, the interlobar blood vessels. We see the pyramids. The pyramids are what is labeled as the capsule. We see the medulla. We see the major calyx and the minor calyx. So these are the label of the interior part of the kidney. Now, it is pertinent to know that this is also found in both the left and the right kidney. It is found in both sides. The left kidney is not different from the right kidney. The only difference is their position, which see the left kidney is a slight higher than the right kidney. So let's move on with our course of study. The cortex and medulla, there are over millions of filtry structures called the kidney lining or nephrons. Each tubules begin in the cortex as a minute cup-shaped Bosman capsule which surrounds a small ball of blood capillaries called the glomerulus, and in the plural it's called the glomeruli. The first part of the tubule coming from each capsule is called greatly. It enters the medulla and back into the cortex as a U-shaped loop. Finally, it joins the surrounding tubules to form a collective duct. This passes through the medulla and leads into the pelvis and then into the ureter. Each tubule is strictly supplied with a network of capillaries. We lead to the next subtopic, which is the function of the kidney. The mammalian kidney performs two major functions, namely the removal of excretory products and osmoregulation, that is, the keeping of the amounts of water and useful ions in the living cells constant. The major functions occurs as follows into each of the glomeruli. Blood containing glucose, mineral salts, proteins, urine, vitamins, and other essential substances passes through the renal artery into each of the glomeruli in the kidney. The afferent artery that enters each glomerulus is wider than the afferent artery that leaves it. As a result of that, it is high pressure that blood and other particles, dissolved substances, are filtered through the walls of each glomerulus into the Bowman's capsules. This process is called ultrafiltration. Glucose, urine, water, and other useful materials called the glomerular filtrate pass through the Bowman's capsules along the kidney tubules, where all glucose, most of the mineral salts, and almost all of the waters are selectively reabsorbed into the surroundings of the blood capillaries. Urea, some salt, water, and other nitrogenous excretory products remains as urine, which is passed through the ureter to the bladder, from where the urine is passed out as an interval through the urethra. Now we move to the second function of the kidney, which is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation occurs in the mammalian kidney during the selective absorption into the blood capillaries in the following way. 1. If the osmotic pressure of the blood increases, more water is reabsorbed from the kidney tubules and less water is passed into the bladder. 2. If the blood osmotic decreases, only a small quantity of water is reabsorbed and more water is passed to the bladder. By this process, the kidney helps in regulating the volume of water in the body. Generally, when one drinks plenty of water fluid, plenty of dilute urine is excreted, but when amount of water in one's body is very small, only little amount of urine is passed out. More urine is produced by the kidney only on cold days than on hot days. However, in some cases and sometimes, the body kidney or the mammalian kidney doesn't work perfectly, and this is caused by some diseases of the kidney. The diseases which prevent the mammalian kidney from working normally include the following. 1. We have the diuresis. This is a disease that results when the kidney tubular cells cannot reabsorb water from the glomerular filtrate into the blood. Therefore, a large body of water is passed out in urine. Number 2 disease, which may be edema. This is a disease that happens when the Bowman's capsule cells cannot absorb water from the blood into the kidney tubule. As a result, part of the body swells up because the blood now retains more of water. The third disease of the kidney is nephritis. This is a situation where there is incomplete filtration because of the glomeruli have become inflamed. As a result, a lot of useful materials in the blood field are lost through the urine. Here we have the fourth disease of the kidney, which is the kidney stone. This is a disease whereby the kidney tubules are blocked by certain substances which narrow the lumen of the tubule, thereby preventing the normal passage of urine. The disease is common among middle-aged people. So we move to the next topic, which is the liver. The liver is an organ of the body and the largest organ in the mammalian body. The liver is a predominant, and not just a predominant, but a vital organ in the body that performs a vital role in the regulation of the body, the regulation of the internal environment of the body. And as we can see here is a diagram of the liver on our screen. We see the inferior vena cava, we see the aorta, we see the hepatic artery, we see the portal vein, the gallbladder, the common bile duct, and in all. So now we talk about the functions of the liver and the role they play in the regulation of the internal environment of the human body. Number 1, regulation of blood sugar. The liver and certain glands in the pancreas keep constant the amount of glucose in the blood. When the blood glucose concentration is high, the liver converts excess glucose to glycogen. When the blood glucose concentration is low, the liver converts enough amount of glycogen to glucose. These changes are controllable by a hormone called insulin, which is secreted by the islet in the lungs of the pancreas. And 2, the liver also regulates blood sugar through the regulation of excess carbohydrate in the blood is stored in the liver as glycogen or animal starch. The second function of the liver is the regulation of blood proteins. Excess amino acid in the body are changed to urine through the liver through a process called deamination. During this process, amino acid are first converted to ammonia, which is harmful to the body, and then to urine, which is fairly harmless. Urine is then passed from the liver into the blood, from where it is eliminated from the body through the kidney. Most of the proteins present in the blood plasma is produced by the liver. The third function of the liver is the regulation of blood lipids. Some fats are being stored in the liver, and also when there is shortage of glucose in the body and fats have to be used for respiration, they are first carried to the liver from where they are being stored. Then the liver then converts the fat into simple sugar like glucose, which can be easily oxidized to liberate energy in expiring cells. Number 4 function of the liver is the storage of mineral salt. Mineral salt like copper, iron, vitamin A, vitamin B12, and vitamin D are stored in the liver. The function of the liver in the regulation of the internal environment of the body is the breakdown of the enterocyte. Dead red corpuscles are broken down in the liver, from which it obtains iron partly used in the blood formulation. Bile pigments, which are waste products of the process, are excreted into the intestine together with the bile. Number 6 function of the liver is the bile production. Liver also helps in the manufacturing of byproducts. Excess bile, which is stored in the gallbladder, helps in converting fat and oil into droplets, which the process is also known as the emulsification. We have the seventh function of the liver, which is represented as the letter G, and as detoxification. A lot of energy is generated by the various chemical reactions going on in the liver. This heat is circulated by the blood throughout the body and helps in maintaining temperatures. So on this note, we call it a day on the regulation of the internal environment of the human body. Questions will be entertained from anyone from different angles through the comment section. And please, if you haven't liked or subscribed this video, I please urge you all to please do that. Welcome and thanks for watching.